Hi guys, so today I just want to go over several news, obviously related to politics, a lot of things related to Trump and Musk, pretty much, and things related to immigration, deportation of people, and lastly, something nice that New Mexico, the state, has done. So first thing first, this is an article from Irish Star from April 11, 2025, talks about how Trump has stated that he doesn't need Elon Musk anymore. There seems to be some type of uh, negative relationship now between Trump and Elon. Obviously, Trump already used Elon the way he wanted. Not saying that Elon is still not working with Trump, but it seems like Trump really doesn't care too much about Musk's feelings anymore, or if he really cares about needing him. I'm sure he's still using him, but like over here, they seem like they're fine. Probably, on public view, they behave differently, but indoors, there could be some issue. So Donald Trump has told reports that only Elon in a sign the relationship is further cooling. It comes as Trump caught out. It comes as Trump caught out as he's overheard making outrageous brag to his friends. So we already know because the whole Musk situation with Tesla going down and people really not liking Musk so much because of the doge situation caused Tesla sales to go down, and that could be making Trump administration look even worse than it already is. So they might just want to try to cool things down as fast as possible so that they can switch the gear on blaming either Musk directly or just people who are domestic terrorists due to attacking Musk vehicles, specifically the Teslas. So we know there's a lot of BS between that. So I'm just scrolling down to see if there's any more information about that. So this decision follows as Donald Trump agreeing to suspend reciprocal tariffs on all nations for 90 days. We know he's gone back and forth on traditional tariffs all the time. And I'll soon discuss about a new tariff that he's has implemented against China. So there's a lot of that going on. And technically, Tesla's also not doing so dramatically well, besides the whole Doge situation that must be allowed to do thanks to Trump. A lot of people are realizing they can also get EVs cheaper made somewhere else. Like China is really ahead with the EVs. And Chinese citizens and residents in general tend to just buy Chinese vehicles. They don't need Tesla. And we already know that Honda, Toyota, and some, I'm sure Volkswagen as well, many of these brands that are well known already have EVs. I never liked Tesla, never owned one. I always thought they didn't look that great. Their build quality is shit. Always has been. Um, so it's not really a surprise that that has happened. There's not too much else real about Musk in this and Trump. So this article is from The Guardian. It talks about how U.S. intensifies crackdown on peaceful protests under Trump. This from April 9, 2025. A lot of these things are all from April, and it's a lot that's been happening. Like ever since Trump became president, so much has happened that unless your main job is to just be able to post stuff online and be kind of like an internet journalist, it's hard to keep up with all these things. As you already know, I work full time at the state government employee, so I try to do these things ahead of time as much as I can. But some days I just don't have the time, and it's tough. The good thing is I'm almost done with my MPA degree as well. That'll be something I'll discuss in a different video. So 41 anti-protest bills in 22 states have been introduced since the start of 2025, according to Law Track. Why? Because Trump gave them the power to do so. Anti-protest bills that seek to expand criminal punishment for constitutionally protected peaceful protests, especially targeting those speaking out on the U.S.-backed war in Gaza and the climate crisis, has spiked since Trump inauguration. So technically, protesting is a constitutional protected right. However, Trump has been going against the Constitution, defying, completely not following the Constitution since the first term that he had. He's just going even more extreme on his second term. And U.S. Supreme Court hasn't really done nothing to stop him. Not at all. They never use the U.S. Marshals, which I know is not going to be effective considering is in power, but at least try something. Put him under contempt, make him go, put him in prison, do something. The military is probably not going to do crap. They're very right wing as well, just like the DOJ. Those things are all very right wing, so it's very hard to have any of them really care that deeply. Even though this is literally a constitutional right to protest, riots are different, but to protest, they're still right. So it's a really big issue that they're really making this hard for people to do. This always been a known thing. This is not just a Republican thing. Democrats have done also going after protesters, but it's just under Republican leadership is so extreme. It's a whole other level, especially now with Trump in power. And he's basically a dictator at this point. And a lot of states are just following suit, especially the red states, Republican controlled states. They're really going hard on protesters because now they can. So I'm just going down here. The number of anti-protest bills introduced so far in 2025 is 79% of the 2024 total. So look at this in 2017, enacted, defeated, expired, pending. So enacted not that many. Many were defeated, expired. 2018 even less. 2019 was less than 2017. 2020 was less than 2019 and 2017. 2021, a lot of them were defeated and expired. And but the red here enacted is pretty decent big. 2022 seems like the lowest amount, which is pretty good. Not so many, I guess. Got enacted 2023, not too much. 2024, there was some pending and there was an increase here. Now, in the first 3 months of 2025, a few have been enacted and a bunch of them are being pending. They're pending right now. And expect that much more is going to happen. And they probably will be enacted pretty easily. In one example, the Safe and Secure Transportation American Energy Act will create a new federal felony offense that could apply to protests that disrupt planned or operational gas pipelines, which will be punishable by up to 20 years in prison and fines up to $250,000 for individuals or $400,000 for or $400,000 for organizations. So 250K dollars for individuals or $400K dollars for organizations. Yeah, the language in the bill is vague, which again will lead to a lot of issues because the more vague the language is in a bill, the more that it can be interpreted by the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch, which means more people are going to be discriminated and targeted, and of course end up resulting being more punished because of it. It's a really big issue. Of course, this is a bill sponsored by seven Republicans, including Senator Ted Cruz for Texas. Not really surprised. Texas, they care a lot about oil and gas, so this is not really a surprise. It's a lot of information about this thing, so I'm gonna scroll down. Some things I'm not gonna read. I'm skimming through it, to be honest, but you guys can pause and read it more carefully. A separate bill will exclude student protesters from federal financial aid and loan forgiveness if they commit any crime at a campus protest, even non-violent misdemeanors such as failing to disperse. This is insane. Yeah, it's just really bad. And of course, this is what dictatorship is like. Making sure people cannot protest. If you do, you're gonna get completely fucked. Meaning that you don't expect to get any financial aid, potentially go to prison for decades. It's a lot of that situation. So the Trump administration effort to cast pro-Palestinian protesters as terrorists and then use anti-terror and immigration laws to deport legal residents and quell campus demonstration appears to be inspired by Project Esther, an anti-protest blueprint published shortly before the last year's election by the Heritage Foundation. The creators of Project 2025. Why is that not a surprise? Of course, Trump is just following exactly what they expect to follow. It's all Christian nationalism, it's all right wing propaganda, and they're doing an extremely good job in following this. The Heritage Foundation is literally the massive terrorist organization. So this is from April 11, 2025, straight from the White House. Military mission for sealing the southern border of the U.S. and repelling invasions or repelling invasions. So what does this Momo Jumbo uh, presidential action memo really means, right? So basically, this provides an opportunity for the president, aka Donald Trump, to really go after undocumented immigrants, even people who are filing for as refugees. And this makes it easier for him to maybe enact or specifically utilize the Insurrection Act and make things even tougher to stop him at his steps of deporting a lot of people, including people who may be legally allowed to be here. Even many green card holders have been getting trouble, even though they did nothing wrong, and U.S. citizens are also in trouble. So keep in mind they're going to racially profile people, and this going to heavily impact Hispanics, Black people, and other people of color. And if you're someone who's white thinking you won't be impacted by this, depends. If your accent doesn't sound American like mine, you're gonna be a target. If you sound potentially look slightly South American, I'm Brazilian for instance, they might assume you because of your accent might be South American, some it might be Brazilian, you're gonna be target. Don't think that just because you don't look like a stereotypical uh what they stereotypical what they expect their racial profile to be does not mean they will not go after you. There already been some people who've been illegally traveling for vacation from Europe, Europeans or white Europeans, Germans, British people, French people who've been getting deported by ICE for not doing anything wrong but being here on vacation. So you're not gonna be safe just because you think you're white and you're gonna be fine and dandy. Because you're a white Cuban individual, you're white Brazilian. Don't think that because you vote for Trump and because you're white, or white looking enough, you're safe. You're gonna get away with doing anything. Trump doesn't care about you. Keep that in mind. You voted for someone who wants to be a dictator, and he literally said what he's gonna do for many, many years. He said multiple times last year. So this is what we get. So this is basically what this will be done. Um, and the implementation of it is a lot of just Trump now having more power to deport people without due process. This is a big problem because you should have due process before so that you don't just be deported and maybe be sent to El Salvador prison for even just being here legally, like what happened to Garcia's situation, among others. This one zero is another uh, article from the White House from April 9, 2025. This is an executive order, zero-based regulatory budgeting to unleash American energy. What this just means, and I'm going to keep scrolling down so you guys can pause and read more completely. It just means that now Trump is going to get rid of regulations that the environmental agency uh, has done. So the environmental agency has done a lot to regulate companies so they don't produce so much greenhouse gases, especially oil and gas businesses, right? So with this, it makes it easy for them to ignore regulation or have no regulation and be able to produce, you know, as much greenhouse gases and other deadly pollution uh, as much as they want. That's the whole point. Trump and Republicans in general have been trying to eliminate regulations on companies who utilize fossil fuels and all of that without any way to stop them. Even though a lot of these regulations for safety reasons, for the workers who are working those environments, for the people who live around those areas, and for long term health in this country and other countries as well, other nations. So that's basically what this would do. It will basically make it easier for these corporations to get away with committing horrific acts such as dumping pollution to rivers, lakes, including drinking water, like spring water, be it not to clean up after themselves, not maintain the dangerous chemicals that can be forever chemicals into things like tap water. They won't have to worry about any of those things. So the Environmental Protection Agency, right, the EPA, regulate these things, right? But with Trump in power, they won't be able to. And that's a huge goal that Trump has been wanting to do for a long time. So this is why this is a big problem. Now, this article from The Guardian, it's from April 11, 2025. Trump administration lists thousands of living immigrants as dead to prompt them to leave. What they just mean is that Trump has basically went through Social Security numbers and just claimed that, oh, these people, they're here illegally, they're undocumented, they're dead. To kind of push those people who may have technically been using Social Security number that they legally cannot have, so they just self-deport. The reason why they want you to self-deport because it's very hard to deport millions of people. As hardcore as they're going right now, it's not easy to do that. So Trump administration has moved to classify more than 6,000 living immigrants as dead, canceling their social security numbers and effectively wiping out the ability to work or receive benefits in an effort to get them to leave the country, according to two people familiar with the situation. Yeah, it's a big problem. Uh, and this is just a beginning. And don't think that, oh, they got rid of 6,000 people who were here illegally and now we don't need them anymore. It's much more complex than that. This gives them the leeway to do a lot of illegal stuff and be able to get rid of people who literally had the legal right to be here. A lot of these things they're not going through a proper process to double check to make sure it's the right thing to do. This other article is from the Guardian also, April 11, 2025. This is the only good news article that I could talk about. New Mexico made childcare free. It lifted 120,000 people above the poverty line. I want to talk about something positive. Not everything is going downhill like shit. The federal government, yes, and it's impacting all of us in one way or the other, but at least some states are trying to do the right thing. The state which has long ranked worst in the US for child well-being became the first and only in the country to offer free healthcare to a majority of families. Very impressive from New Mexico. It's very impressive to achieve this. That's really nice. So let's scroll down a little bit. In one of the poorest states in the nation where the median household income is half that and childcare costs for 2 children could take up 80% of a family's income, the impact was powerful. Yeah, it's important to know that New Mexico has been struggling. A lot of people struggle there. They tend to be high poverty. In 2020, 27.4% of childcare providers, often women of color, will live in poverty. By 2024, that number has fallen to 16%. So that's good. During the state's recent legislative session, lawmakers approved a historic increase in funding for education, including early childhood education that might improve those numbers even further. We know that New Mexico does not have the best education among several states. It's very below, especially Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, um, among other states that are doing much better. And keep in mind, a lot of the states that I'm mentioning also have uh, prestigious universities, right? New York has NYU, which is pretty prestigious. Massachusetts has Harvard. New Jersey has Princeton. I believe the state of Washington does have. I think they might have also a prestigious university, Ivy League, basically. But yeah, some of the states have really, it makes sense that education is really high when they're one of the key states to have one of the best private universities and public universities in the country. So New Mexico cannot compare to that, obviously, but they need more help. Both Republican and Democratic administration have been particularly stingy with the social safety net, she said. Yeah, yeah, this is important. Expand the Medicaid, free child care for families in need. Those things are important. I'm just gonna scroll down. That November, 7% new Mexican voters approved a constitutional amendment directing 1.25% of the fund to early childhood programs. Yeah, children need help. A lot of these parents are working so many jobs that it would be nice to be able to get more assistance and make sure that the children are healthy and not dying or having really horrible opportunities in life. So this is really nice. Just one feel good news of today. That's really for today, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about everything discussed, from the Trump and Musk relationship to the whole deportation situation that the White House, aka Trump, has been aiming towards, and uh, what New Mexico has done. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Watching this on TikTok, follow us on TikTok, and I hope everyone has a great day.